What's up, y'all? So I don't even know where I'm going with this, except that why do we make life so hard? Like I'm sitting here watching a Frankie Beverly and Mays concert, and then I'm watching a concert when I was on stage in my hometown performing with a local band. And I was having so much fun, and I'm watching Frankie, and he's having so much fun, and I'm just like, what is the difference? I mean, he's Frankie Beverly and I'm Robin. I'm IYah. But I don't mean that. I just mean like he's a soul, he's a person, he's a being enjoying his gift and sharing his gift. Just like I am a being who was on the stage in my hometown sharing my gift, enjoying my gift. I wasn't the best singer ever. My voice was doing exactly what it's doing now, coming in and going out, which but I had a ball. And I just feel like we make life so hard. I know where it comes from for me. And as I do my shadow work and tap into it, it comes from this conditioning of perfection. When I was an educator, when I was working in the school systems, and specifically in schools, I always used to, and anybody who worked with me will tell you that I was always bucking this whole idea of awarding students for perfect attendance and perfect grades and, honor roll, all, straight A's or whatever. Although I was a student who got straight A's and never had perfect attendance. But as an adult, as a teacher, I always thought this is ridiculous. Like, why are we forcing children to be perfect? And we are in an elementary school. These kids can't get themselves to school. It is not their responsibility to get up every morning, set the alarm, drive themselves, get to the bus stop, whatever the thing was. Like, why are we awarding children for adult stuff? Like, it's up to the adults to get them to school. It's up to the adults to make sure that they have their homework done or that they're studying for their tests and stuff. They're elementary students, kindergarten through fifth grade. Anyway, I digress, but not really. We are conditioned into this mentality of perfection. We are conditioned into this space of needing to be perfect, and it's not healthy. And then I go back to where else it came from for me, and that was church, religion, growing up as a pastor's daughter, a PK, or just growing up as a Christian in a Christian home. There was this, fear of hell, this joy of supposedly of heaven, which to me, I wasn't too, excited about either one, because just side note, they used to always sing about walking around heaven all day and every day will be like Sunday and the Sabbath will have no end. And I was like, forget that. I'm not trying to do that, because we spent so many Sundays and Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays at church that I was just like, I don't want to do, I'm not trying to do this every day. So if this is what heaven is like, never mind. Nevertheless, I'm just saying that it was this idea of perfection, of if you're good, if you do the right things, if you pray right, if live right, if the song's all about it, then heaven is my, reward or whatever. And I get the whole, you don't have to be perfect because Jesus died for your sins and all that. I'm just saying there was this drive to be your best self, to be your, to be perfect, to be like Jesus, like Christ or whatever. So this whole conditioning of, making the right choices, doing the right things, being perfect at school, being, perfect in the community, because you better not nobody call home and say you was acting no kind of way out in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like, so anyway, it transfers, all of those teachings, they transfer over into our everyday lives and they become very limiting to the point that okay, let me keep this about me. There has been a fear of not being perfect. There's been a fear of performing, of putting work out into the world, poetry or books or videos or music or anything, just sharing myself with the world, sharing my creations with the world. Because I've now, you know, learned to attach myself to this perfection, this idea of it has to be right. And it just doesn't have to be. We just have to enjoy it. Going back to the beginning of this conversation, I was just watching a Frankie Beverly and Mays concert that somebody recorded on their phone. And I was grooving. It wasn't perfect. It was a little bit bouncy. The sound was a little bit, imperfect. But I was fully enjoying the experience of it. And again, I was watching myself on the stage performing with a local group back 2-3 years ago. And I remember it not being perfect on stage. I remember my voice fluctuating. I remember the nervousness I felt. But I was having a good time. And I was smiling while I was watching it, just reliving the joy of being on stage sharing my gift, my imperfect gift that night. We have got to break away from this conditioning that things have to be perfect, that we have to be perfect, that our gift is not good enough, that our voice is not good enough, that we are not enough. We have to let it go and just enjoy this life. Because I'm 61. I probably won't get another 61 years in the 3D, in this dimension. So if I don't begin to enjoy life at some point, and so what if I'm 61? Because a lot of people did not make it to 61. So this message is not for people who are older. This message is for anybody, because none of us know if we're going to get the next moment or not. I don't care if you're 7, 17, or 77. It doesn't matter. None of us knows if the next moment is ours to experience. So we just got to enjoy the moments that we have. Voice all crunchy, whatever. We got to enjoy it. If we have a gift, we just have to give it. It may not come out right every time. It may not sound perfect. Who cares, right? Just enjoy it. I enjoy making videos. They're not all profound, but they are my expressions. And I'm enjoying this. Enjoy your life. Have a good time. Share what you've learned. Share your experiences. Share your gifts. Just the way you share them. That's it. That's all. Love you. Peace. Unapologetic. Approval not needed. From childhood, we are conditioned to seek permission and approval. We're baptized in the muddy waters of comparison, causing condemnation, contamination, and censure of our souls. This cages us, places us in bondage, and becomes habit-forming, detrimental to one's self-determination. Then there's the social media love-like situation that, if we're not cognizant, could add to that approval-seeking, comparison, chaos. Some days I have to caution and coach myself about not waking up and checking what I posted yesterday to see who gets me before I say my gratitudes and sit in meditation. This conditioning is outrageous. But the best days by far are those when I am so connected with Spirit that I truly care less about what others think of me. No worries, no anxiety, just power. Just be. But that's definitely not every day, although that could be a goal. Well, on one of those days, October 10th, 2016, I wrote this piece. Please, please let me know if you like it. Just kidding. Unapologetic. Approval not needed. Sure, there are times when I want to know whether or not others understand what I'm feeling or thinking in my head. I'd be lying if I said otherwise. Yet the truth is, I no longer live for approval from without. There's no doubt in my mind when I find my connection with and take direction from within. What a freedom. I live in me-dom, no longer feed on outward recognition or definition. My intuition is my new home. Free range, uncaged, inner space of freedom. Used to go running to others for their opinion, consent, direction, but Spirit taught me reflection, introspection. Did I mention I have intention and purpose? That my intuition is priceless, not worthless? A righteous connection to the Most High inside. What a freedom. I live in me-dom, no longer feed on outward recognition and definition. My intuition is my new home. Free range, uncaged inner space of freedom. No longer interested in being a director of others' choices, just a reflector of peace, which comes from the voices I hear when in communion with Spirit. Let's hear it for the inner me, my energy, loving the experience of being me authentically. What a freedom. I live in me-dom. No longer feed on outward recognition or definition. My intuition is my new home. Free range, uncaged, inner space of freedom. Thank you for sharing this moment with me. Peace.